And in the previous tutorial I showed you how you can use extend as a function to extend your basic template to the other pages as well. So I even showed you, and in that previous tutorial to that one I showed you how you can render an HTML page, and this is going to be continuation to the Django templates as well. And in this we are going to work with how you can work with Django templates in order to render more things on your front-end application part. But this time we are going to use two things. One is going to be the for loop and one is going to be the if else part. And before this I would show you how you can pass variables to your front-end part of your application using the context function, and how you render your variables using a dictionary. So you will get to know all this in this tutorial. So let's get started with it. So first thing I'm going to do is going to define a path. So this basically I'm going to define a URL, my third page, and I would call a function views dot my third page, and I would name this as my third page as well. So I am using this naming convention so that in order you get a brief overview, like this is the third page we are working on. So first I would run my server on my machine. So this is throwing me an error. Why is it so? Because till now I have not defined my third page function in my views. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move to my views.py file and define my third page, which take request as a parameter, and basically it is going to return and render request and third.html. So basically till now I have not defined third.html yet. So what I'm going to do is going to my templates folder, and inside I'll go to second.html. So I would quickly copy this and create a new file. I'll paste this and I'll change this as third, and even I'll change this also as third. Now I'll save this as third.html, and I hope this will work. And I'll move to my localhost. Okay, this server has started my third page. So you can here see the title is my third page. So third page extends first page with a common nav bar. So I told you how you can quickly extend one page to another using an extend function. So now I would tell you how you can extend variables. Actually you are going to extend variables to the front-end application using the context function. This is going to be very pretty good and pretty easy also. So what you can do, you can simply create a variable. I'll create a variable of a data type string with the name hello world. Now what I am going to do, I am going to define my dictionary, and what variable you want to pass. Okay, just to be on an easy way, this is a key value pair. So basically you are passing the variable var with the name also as var. So what I'm going to do, you'll have a quick overview of this. So you will type context is equal to my dictionary. Now you are passing on variable var. So this is your variable. Basically this has the data on the right side, value, and on the key side you are naming the name which is going to be rendered on the front end part. And now what I am going to do, I'm going to declare h1 heading, and to initialize the value of the variable I'm going to type var. Okay, this looks good. Now I will refresh this page. Now it says hello world. So this is pretty cool. Now what I can do also, I'll have another variable greeting, and I'm saying, hey, how are you? So this would greet the user, but this time I'm going to pass with the name message. So this would help you to understand. So this can be any. So what I'm telling, greeting is a variable of data type string. So this is the value greeting, and what name I'm going to pass it with the message name. So when I move to the third.html, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use message here, and now this message basically has the greeting variable inside it. So this would print the value on the front-end application part. So say it says, hey, how are you? Oh, this looks pretty cool. Now I'm going to define a list of fruits, basically apple, mango, and banana, and I'm going to pass these fruits using a key value pair. So basically I'm going to pass it with the name my fruits. So this would pass these fruits which has a data type of list or array, you can say, and I am going to pass it with the name my fruits on the front end part. And when I move here, I'll create an unordered list using a simple for loop. So I would type, okay, before this I would type for each fruit in my fruits I'll simply end this loop using this template and for, and I'm going to type the list parameter, and basically each fruit is the value I'm going to print. And you can see the magic here. You can see apple, mango, banana is here, and simply maybe sometime you have a large list in your backend part and you want to print it, you can simply print it using a for loop. So even this you could do this like this. Most of we do it like for I in my fruits, you can simply print I as well. So this would also work. Okay, so you can see here even this also works. So this looks pretty cool. We are done with the for loop as well. Now we are going to work with the if else part. So in the views.py you can see I'll declare a variable. It could be of any type, and basically it could be of any type. What you can do is like I can have a brief overview. This is how we use like if, elif, else, and if. So in order to end anything you need to type if, elif, else, and if. So what we can do, okay, we are going to take two numbers, num1 comma num2 is equal to 3 and 5. So what we are going to do, and we are going to take a variable answer, and that answer is going to be, what we can do is answer is going to be num1 is greater than num2. So before this I would print the answer on my console. So what I'm going to do is going to refresh this page. This URL will call that views.py, and it says false. So you can here see it says false because num1 has the value 3 and the num2 has the value 5, and is 3 greater than 5? No. So this gets the value as false, and this prints the answer on my console. So I would comment this out and I would render answer as answer and num1 as num1. Okay, and also num2 as num2. So this should work. I'll see. Okay, now you can see, so okay, this is going to be rendered. So num1 is being passed as num1, num2 answer. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use an if condition. If answer, and I'm going to use an else part as well, else, and if. Okay, so you can see this is the same syntax I'm using. So this time I'm only using an if, else, and if only. If answer, if an answer is right, this means what I meant in my views.py file, that if this is true, then num1 is greater. If else it's false, then num2 is greater. Then you will type num1 is greater than, okay, we can even do this like this also. What we can do, we'll use curly braces. Num1 is greater than num2. So this looks good. And the else part, we are going to the reciprocal of it. I'll change this as num2 is greater than num1. Okay, so this is my if else part, and I'll move to my page, and this says 5 is greater than 3 because I had mentioned in the views.py file. Okay, if I change these two numbers as any random numbers, I'll take this as 10 and I'll take this as 7. So this will work. Maybe this should work. And okay, yeah, it says 10 is greater than 7 because I have created a backend logic, and I'm using that backend logic in my front-end part as well. So in the previous I showed you 5 is greater than 3. Now I'm showed you 10 is greater than 7. So you can use this backend logic on the views.py part to render it and show it in your front-end part. So thank you so much, guys. I'll catch up with you in the next lecture. So thank you, guys.